Pappy's Patina looks great, except where it doesn't. And a lot of places where it doesn't is my fault, I guess. I tried wet sanding it with like the 1000 grit paper. Didn't really look so well. And another thing that really didn't look so well is the way I put it on. It's kind of streaky, and if you get the sunlight just right, you can see where the pad I used or whatever to put it on. And it didn't really make it look all that great. Now, one thing about this stuff is if you put it on something like the rat rod that doesn't have a smooth surface anyway, boy, it looks pretty fabulous. For this car though, I think what it does is it gives me a little bit of an idea of what this would look like if I did have a nice clear coat over that old paint. And you know, I can walk around it and decide what I think. If I really want a nice coat of clear coat, I can buy a quart of it and spray it on there and probably have it come out a lot nicer. But it was an experiment from the beginning, and I bought enough when I bought it to, well, let's see, I did the rat rod with it, I did this car with it, I did the pontoon boat with it, so I've shined up a lot of stuff. I think what I'm going to do now is just drive it like this. I noticed lately this hood corner isn't closing down just right. The other thing I did here was I replaced the oil pressure. I have been messing around with different oil pressure gauges and stuff like that, and I finally was able to take the distributor out, all the way out, and get down in there and get that little oil pressure sending unit out so that I could get the cable, the tube, whatever you call the little brass tube that runs to the Stewart Warner oil pressure unit that I had in here ever since the last engine I had. I was having a hard time getting that sending unit out, and I thought, well, I'll just put an electronic oil pressure gauge in here, and but I couldn't really find one that worked with that sending unit, so I finally just, you know, got the sending unit out, put the regular direct line oil pressure line right into the place where it should go there, and that should take care of that. This car is running, I want to say, just about perfect now. I'm totally happy with everything about the car as the car sits. And what I mean by that is that the, you know, the paint job's good enough. It's always been a kind of an experimental paint job. I think even when Josh did it, he was, you know, kind of playing around, seeing what he could do on his own with it. And the same thing with me. I think I'm going to try getting a new front tire on it. Well, I think what I might do is, I've got enough wheels and tires around here. I want to put one on there that's nice and smooth. The one I got on there, one of them vibrates around 60 miles an hour. But what I might do is, if I get one on there that runs smooth, figure out which one it is and take it up to the tire place, see if they can balance that out. Got a new tag to go on the front. It says Rambler, 64 Rambler. I think I like it better than the one that's on there, so I'm going to put that on there. And I'm messing around with some radios here. I got a couple of radios. I'm going to try to get a radio working. That's what I'm doing. So it's cold today. I mean, I did the Pappy's Patina in here with the heater on, but I don't think it's ever gotten above somewhere in the high 40s, maybe the mid 40s. So it's kind of chilly. Luckily, the car heater works good. I'm very happy with that. So, is what it is, I guess. So we'll just drive it that way for a while and think about what we think about it. And there's a lot of imperfection. Like, I'm looking across that hood right there, and I see there's like a Bondo spot in there where somebody Tried to fix something that looked bad there. So it's a pretty imperfect car, but I'm okay with that. I'm just kind of okay with it. I had talked about selling it before. Every now and again, I still kind of think about that. Man, I've had this car for, let's see, I might have had this car for almost 20 years, and it's a pretty cool car. It's not a Camaro or a Corvette or a Mustang. It's still a pretty cool car. So it might be that it's just good enough for me. I mean, I do have the Studebaker and I do have the rat rod, and maybe that's good enough. Oh, and I do have a quart of Boston Whaler Blue and a quart of white paint. Me and Luke Palioka's been talking about possibly doing a different paint job on this car. So, and Luke's a pretty artistic guy, so. But then again, see, if I go into putting a paint job on it, that means I got to smooth the car out, and the car's got plenty of rough spots on it, which I'm not into. I'm not into doing a lot of body work, so I don't know. This might be a good time just to drive it and enjoy it, especially this time of year when it's chilly. It's a good time to have a car with a heater when it's chilly, right? Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, then I'm gonna go make videos. I think we got rain, snow, who knows what coming for the next few days. So probably what I can do is just maybe tomorrow come out here and start the heater and mess around with these radios and see if I can get one that works. And if I can, I'll put that in there. And between that and cleaning up the garage, that ought to keep me busy for a little while. Oh, the joy.